Trace.
I know.
I did over the weekend.
Hanging out at the auto show.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Let's begin with your forecast here this morning. Hey, Tracy.
Yeah, it feels like you just said it was Friday.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Here we go. Yeah, off and to a running start this morning, although, yeah, watch if you are planning to get running out there this morning because we still have some lingering mainly flurries, as you can see, up toward Lake Geneva, into Waukegan and Kenosha. Now, what the radar does not show you, because it is so very light, is the freezing drizzle that is around the area this morning. It is very patchy. It is very, very light, but just enough to result in a bit of a glaze in spots. 19 degrees right now, Villa Park. 20 degrees currently in Oak Park. We'll have your complete forecast. It's coming up, but we need to check in with Roz because, oh my goodness. Right, Roz?
It's going to be, yeah, right, Tracy. It's going to be a very challenging morning out there on the roads, even though snow's been plowed. The salt crews have been out, but there's still this glaze, and it's slippery, and there's black ice, and we've got all kinds of issues for the start of the rush this morning. We're just now hearing about a crash on the Ontario feeder ramp to the inbound Kennedy, so we've got IDOT crews responding to that. We also had a car fire on the outbound side of the Jane Addams at Beverly. They just now reopened all the lanes, so traffic is getting through, but it's still a bit sluggish in that area. Complete closure in West Chicago because of a crash on Roosevelt at Route 59, so you will need to detour around that. And check out
snow, so we are headed that way. Take a look outside our windshield. You can take it slow. Live on the move, Jessica D'Onofrio, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay, Jessica, thank you. At least 6 people have died in gun violence in Chicago over the holiday weekend. So far, incident, one of the pilots on board the Virgin Atlantic flight apparently had eye issues after being shot in the eye with that laser.
Her coming up in our next hour.
The Archdiocese year-old.
Just a bit, but we've got, what, this little bit of freezing drizzle coming down out there?
Yeah, did you notice on your windshield, maybe a little drizzle, and then all of a sudden it was like it was ice?
Right, right.
So,
yeah, and the wipers didn't work too well.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, so you may encounter that as well. So just know if that is happening in your travels this morning, that is freezing drizzle. Kind of the starts as ice, then coming through a warm layer, and then freezing on impact. And temperatures will not be as cold this afternoon as they were here over the weekend. Well, our radar showing that we still have the lingering flurries around Waukegan right now, Zion, Antioch, up into Lake Geneva. But we also have this patchy freezing drizzle, and it is so fine and so light that the radar really is not picking up on that. So just please be aware that it is around the area. Futurecast just showing how we are in the cloud cover throughout the day today, and really no additional precipitation coming our way here on this Monday. Our average high today is 35. The average low is 20. 19 degrees right now at O'Hare, where they're just reporting cloudy skies. Last half hour, however, at O'Hare, there was freezing drizzle being reported. The AccuWeather Real Feel is now 11 degrees. 18 Kenosha, 20 degrees right now, Vernon Hills. It is 18 in Palatine and Yorkville, 18 degrees in Oswego, 21 in Dwight, and 20 degrees right now in Gary. Our wind chills this morning, some in the single digits, most are in the teens this morning. And once again, a broader look at that satellite imagery, and there you see how we do have the cloudy skies. Once again, some patchy freezing drizzle. Meanwhile, the mid-Atlantic states, if you have flight plans to D.C., Baltimore, down into Norfolk or Richmond, yes, they are dealing with some wintry weather conditions there. Meanwhile, let's look at our futurecast for tomorrow. Here's 7 a.m. tomorrow. Basically, the overnight hours are just cloudy, but what I'm going to watch for, you see this leading edge of snow by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, gets toward DeKalb, in through LaSalle, Morris, you'll probably get in on that, but then it kind of falls apart as it tries to get closer to the lake, still clipping those areas along and south of I-80 tomorrow morning, but really falls apart as far as getting here into the city. So it's not looking like we will have snow to contend with tomorrow in the city. But this morning, we do have to deal with areas of fog and patchy freezing drizzle. So please just know about that. Mainly cloudy, not as cold out there this afternoon as the weekend sure was. Some snow does return far west and south tomorrow. And then look at these temperatures. I know, I have to say, can you believe this? Friday, it looks weird, doesn't it? 50s, but we'll take it.
South side at 57th and Morgan. It's pretty active. No word of any injuries, but there's a lot of equipment on the scene there. Expressways, traffic volume is light, but don't let that be deceiving because some of those roads can still be very slick. Case in point, we've had a lot of crashes out there. Nothing too major, but some new things happening off the expressways. This is in Addison, a crash at Lake Street and Itasca. We also have a crash up in the Dundee area on Higgins, just a little bit east of Dundee Road. So you do need to be very cautious out there. As I said, the travel times are going...
Many of our fans, thank you for coming out. We're going to be showing these snapshots here with you all morning long.
I cannot believe how many people were out there.
I know, right?
We were hustling for the 2 hours trying to get everybody in.
In and out. Yeah, it was great meeting everybody.
That was awesome. 4:42 coming up. Art supplies and gel.
Terrell Brown. Weather with meteorologist Tracy Butler. And Roz Varen's traffic. ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 4:30 continues.
Carolina. And Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia's body was moved overnight, but funeral plans have yet to be made public. And already an epic political battle is brewing over his replacement. ABC's Megan Hughes has details.
Capture the Supreme Court in the waning months of his presidency.
Who might the president nominate? Two names being mentioned, Jane Kelly and Sri Srinivasan, both circuit court judges who were approved unanimously 3 years ago. Megan Hughes, ABC News, Washington.
Well, what we are watching this morning, still some lingering flurries up around Winthrop Harbor and Kenosha right now. There you see it on the radar right there. What is very tough to pick up on the radar is this patchy freezing drizzle that's in the area. And you'll know it if you're driving along and you see some drizzle and then all of a sudden it freezes up. And even your windshield wipers have a tough time getting rid of it. But it is out there. 20 degrees right now in Oak Park. It is 20 degrees at the lakefront, 19 degrees right now out at O'Hare. Some wind chills this morning. Most of them are in the teens. We'll see very little in the way of any sun around here today. High temperatures up around
activity. And there were a couple of fires this overnight. 43rd and Packers on the south side. It was a warehouse fire. They finally just got that thing under control. Still an active fire seen a little bit farther south at 57th and Morgan, so you'll need to avoid that area. Light volume on the expressways, but don't let that fool you. Some of the roads can be very slick, so just take it easy and increase your following distance out there. We do have this crash in northwest Indiana, northbound on I-65, just before I-80-94, so slick roads to our neighbors to the east as well. Be careful out there. Judy, Terrell, back to you.
Hosted that happy gathering.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio's chances of finally winning an Oscar have gotten a boost from the other side of the pond and the British version of the ABC7. And now in sports, the highest scoring NBA All-Star game ever.
And a home game for the morning sports wrap.
Good morning, I'm Dione Miller. Joel Quinville hopes it's not serious, but the Blackhawks were still forced to place Marian Hossa on injured reserve with that lower body injury he suffered on Saturday night. He'll be out at least the next week. The Hawks recalled Chicago native Vincent Hinostroza, but no Hossa leaves a big hole. They host Toronto to try to snap a 3-game skid tonight at the UC next Sunday, so hopefully they can regroup as they try to snap their skid as well. That's a look at sports. I'm Dione Miller. Have a marvelous Monday.
4:54 right now, just ahead an hour, 5 o'clock hour this morning. A new legal challenge by the parents of the Jaguar.
Hey, I'm Terrell Brown.
Good morning, I'm Judy Sue. Thanks for joining us on this Monday morning. Snow yesterday, snow overnight. Let's get the latest on your conditions right now, Tracy.
In addition, what you cannot see, although you may see it on your windshield this morning or on your patio deck, we do have freezing drizzle that is in the area. It's just so very fine and light. Radar not really picking up on that. 20 degrees right now in Bolingbrook. It is 19 degrees at O'Hare. It is 20 degrees right now in Munster. So already some of our temperatures are currently above any temperature we had all weekend long. Of course, it was a bitter cold weekend around here. We have some wind chills right now that are in the teens in the area. As we go through the day ahead, we will see a lot of cloud cover, but today certainly not as cold as it was here over the weekend. Of course, Saturday was brutally cold, but we had that sunshine. I'll have a complete look at your forecast. That's coming up, but let's turn things over to Roz.
But so does this weather, because we've had a lot of spin-outs and slide-offs. We've got some slick pavement. This is a snapshot of the Kennedy Expressway right around that Addison curve from the Travel Midwest IDOT's website. So you can see there's a little bit of a glaze out there, even though plows have been out, salt crews are out. You just need to take it easy out there because it can be kind of tricky. Now, we've got a lot of fire activity. We've had several fires overnight. This is a new one. South Side, 51st Place, and Princeton. So please be cautious driving around. May want to think about public transport or pace. Judy and Terrell.
All right, well, Roz has her eyes on a lot of those live cameras.
And our crews are also out checking out the roads right now. Jessica D'Onofrio live on the move. Jess.
We're on I-88 headed west, right around the Naperville area, and take a look outside our windshield into consideration as you head out this morning, and be very careful. Reporting live on the move, Jessica D'Onofrio, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Jessica, thank you. A breaking news update right now. Crews have cleaned up after
Guzmán Loera a la protagonista de La Reina del Sur.
Encontramos al primer esposo de que del Castillo, Luis